Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt Financial Group. Today is Monday, September 29, 2025. Take a look at last week in the markets and then point out some important things going on this week. So last week stocks were down. We had a nice bounce back rally on Friday, but we did have 3 down days in a row and stocks ended lower on the week. Dow was down about 15 basis points. S&P down about 1/3%. NASDAQ was the worst. It was down 2/3%, and the Russell down about 0.5%. For the year to date, the Dow's up around 9, S&P's up around 13, NASDAQ up around 16.5, and the Russell's up around 9%. So looking forward to this week, a lot of stuff going on. Potential government shutdown, end of the quarter, end of the month, and jobs data on Friday for the month of September. Maybe we don't get the jobs data. I have seen some people out there saying that if we get a government shutdown, maybe we don't get the jobs data on Friday. I don't know whether it's that damaging, but it's an estimated number. And clearly in the past several months, that data has been called into question anyway. But historically, the market trades on whatever the number is, whether it's made up, accurate, inaccurate. So maybe on Friday, the markets won't have something to trade on. But regarding the government shutdown, and that's going to happen, I guess, on Wednesday if there's no agreement reached today or tomorrow. And what's interesting, I'll share this chart with you of prior government shutdowns. The last one happened in 2018 and 19. I didn't realize they become so common. I thought there was more, since then. But last one, 2018 to 2019, 34 days, which is probably one of the larger ones. I didn't realize some of these things were going on back in the 70s and 80s too. But another point. But the 2018, 2019, 34 days, and the S&P was up almost 10% during that time. It's a 10% move in 34 days. That's pretty good. I think we'll take one of those if it would happen here in October. So that's going on. I think, again, the jobs data will be important. And then, the end of the quarter and end of the month, could set up for some volatility in October. There's a lot of data out there that we've had such a strong year and consecutive months of up, and that does continue into year end. There are some data points that point towards maybe some volatility and some downside in October. And to that end, there's what they call this JP Morgan collar, which ties into one of their mutual funds. And it's a option strategy where they're selling and buying puts and calls and like that. And they do it, they set it at the beginning of the quarter and it expires at the end of the quarter. Well, this quarter, for the S&P, it's around 6,500 and we're trading 66 and change. So, probably not going to go down to that, although who knows, with the news flow, it could happen. But the point is that is a lot of support that's going to go away and have to be reset at a level. We'll find out what that level is in the next few days, in the first few days of the quarter, and I'll try to report that. But that can set up for some volatility if we, go down below the 6,600 level. That's what the setup is. So we'll see what happens. So we'll be back on Wednesday, government shutdown or not. We'll be back with a video. And thanks for listening. We'll talk to you then. Goodbye.